star? For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Whatever the weather outside, stay comfortable inside with Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, where quality and comfort matter the most. Our cost-effective systems for your home or office and planned service will save you some bucks. Bucks. That's right, Sarah bucks. That will keep your wallet happy. Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, a reliable local family-owned company that always produces great results. This is Sarah Tanner. Call 299-2500 or go to tannerhvac.com to schedule today. Tanner Heating and Air Conditioning, a name you can trust.
The WHIO payroll payout is back.
Money for nothing.
Win your share of thousands of dollars each weekday. And all you have to do is listen.
That's the way you do it.
$1,000 happens at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5. You can't win if you don't get on the WHIO payroll. Play on the free WHIO app and WHIO.com. You've never seen money flow like this.
Look at that. Look at that.
Sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete and Compton Power Equipment. Only from WHIO. This is the legendary WHIO, Dayton's only 24-hour news station.
Live, local, late breaking.
Using the power of News Center set, we have dozens of reporters all over the Miami Valley.
On top of the latest development.
Breaking news when it happens. We're the home of Dayton's only all-news morning show, Miami Valley's Morning News.
This is Larry Hanskin.
Then, throughout the day, updated local news every 15 minutes. When breaking news happens, we stop what we're doing and go wall to wall. This is 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Phone call then might not recognize the number, but it will pay to answer. Could be worth $1,000. Right now, 71 degrees at 5:55. The New York Post says between 5 and 20% of people suffer from a condition known as misophonia, where sounds like chewing, yawning, crunching, slurping, pen clicking, water dripping, sniffling, tapping, whistling, and breathing make them feel angry or panicked. People with misophonia face an increased risk of depression, stress, and PTSD. Brittany, do you know anyone who has misophonia, or do you even have it yourself?
I do not have it myself. I think I know a few people who do, though.
Oh, you do? Mm-hmm. Okay. What is their trigger?
The sniffling is, I think it's Micah's trigger.
Ah.
It kind of drives him nuts.
Okay.
But yeah.
And you raised 2 kids. Boy, how that had to be tough.
Yes.
All right, Jeremy, any misophonia on your part?
Yeah, not that I could think of. I mean, I will say some of that depends on proximity. Like if you're in a restaurant or you're in a big room, it's not that big of a deal. But loud chewing and loud breathing from people close by me that I'm not related to, then I may lean into that a little bit. But
Will Taylor, how about you?
Yeah, I got it for sure.
You have misophonia?
Oh, I'm sure I do. Yeah,
okay.
Because it's like it's like little ants running across your skin when I hear somebody smacking their lips.
Oh wow,
it's horrible. Yeah. This is horrible. Or the chewing. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna turn your board on. Yeah, no, I definitely. Any food thing, even if I'm chewing, sometimes I'll be like, God, stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know someone, and I'll protect their identity, that a styrofoam. Just hands on any like, a fingernail across styrofoam, anything like that, any scraping of styrofoam drives them absolutely bonkers.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know. I don't think I'm really bugged. You know what? I'm probably more of a misophonia predator than I am a sufferer.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to be that person that makes somebody go crazy because I'll click my pen, I'll slurp my coffee, I'll tap my toes. I'm probably making a lot of people miserable unintentionally.
That's positive.
Only 20% of the people you come across.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, it's a gift. It's a gift. All right, top story today involves a travel ban. 12 countries, which ones and why? That's all coming up at 5:58.
This is the legendary WHIO, the king of sports in Ohio. We've got the biggest sports teams and leagues on both radio and TV. This year, we're proud to be the home of NFL with Cincinnati Bengals football on Channel 7. The Southwest Ohio home of the Cleveland Browns on WHIO radio. The biggest Big Ten games during the season every Saturday, including Ohio State football. The CBS NFL Game of the Week. The home of University of Dayton basketball and football. The Touchdown 7 high school football games of the week. The Dayton home of March Madness, the Masters, and PGA Championship. When it comes to the absolute biggest sports brands, WHIO Radio and Television is the king of Dayton sports. WHIO, Dayton's news, talk, and sports station. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
Just yesterday, I was talking about the problems with all the data breaches going on right now where criminals are getting a hold of your name, social security number, address, date of birth, all those things, everything they need for identity theft. And I mentioned you need to do credit freeze. And I talk about credit freeze so regularly, I assume that when I say freeze your credit, you know what I mean. And then we got a lot of questions since yesterday. So here's what it means. With Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, under federal law, you can do what's called a credit freeze. It doesn't affect any of the credit you have, but it shuts down a criminal with your personal information, applying for credit as if they're you. Now remember, this is free. You want to know how to set this up? Go to clark.com/credit freeze.
Clark is WHIO's consumer warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO. WHIO, Dayton Springfield. Celebrating our 90th year as the Miami Valley's leading news station. Weather, traffic, and breaking news starts now.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Larry Hansgen. Welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Thursday, June 5th, 71 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Going to be warm and muggy today with a high near 80 and thunderstorms possible off and on. Miamisburg City Council votes unanimously to ban marijuana businesses. And our top story, President Trump has announced new travel bans.
This travel ban involving a dozen countries brings a similar tone from the first Trump administration. The countries involved: Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen.
That's Fox News' David Spunt. The White House says more countries could be added.
Yeah, on Fox's The Ingram Angle, Senator Bernie Moreno praised the president's hardline immigration stance.
For the first time in 4 years, we have a president that actually cares about American citizens, that's willing to protect us and defend this country. Thank God we have President Trump in the White House.
Now, the Supreme Court struck down the president's sweeping 2017 Muslim ban during his first term.
Now, stay tuned here as we continue to bring you the information you need to hear on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
The threat for stronger thunderstorms. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. Much of the Miami Valley today and tomorrow under a marginal risk for severe storms. We'll talk about the threats and the timing.
Traffic is moving well on all interstates across the Miami Valley for the morning drive. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
Well, one community is banning commercial marijuana, but they say you can still grow it at home.
Miamisburg city leaders voted unanimously to ban commercial cultivators, processors, and retail dispensaries. Home grow is still allowed there within state law.
That's WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. We have a full list of area cities that have a temporary ban on pot sales at our website, WHIO.com.
Now we're following breaking news here in Dayton. Officers and medics responding to a reported shooting at a local apartment complex.
Dayton police responded to Bragg Place near West Stewart Street on initial reports of a shooting. Video and photos show that officers have taped off the area, and initial scanner traffic indicated that a gas line may have been hit.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor, now a Montgomery County Regional Dispatcher Supervisor, telling our news team that medics transported one person from the scene to a local hospital.
Out of Clark County, Springfield police looking for a 24-year-old, Haley Travis.
She was last seen in the area of Main and Florence Streets in the city of Springfield. Travis is a white woman listed as 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 180 pounds. Springfield police posted her photo on its Facebook page. You can see it at WHIO.com.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones.
And new this morning, a judge has found a former city manager guilty of trying to buy sex with a minor.
Miami Valley Human Trafficking Task Force, it said former Milford city manager Michael Doss responded to a fake ad on a website. An undercover detective claimed to be 15, and the two almost met in person. Now, Doss's trial was held in Montgomery County. Doss will learn his sentence in July.
That is News Center 7's Gabrielle Enright.
Well, Governor DeWine announcing nearly $52 million heading to area communities to improve bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure here in Ohio.
Projects in Fairborn, Five Rivers Metro Parks, and Kettering, as well as projects in Eaton, Sidney, Urbana, and in Logan County are all being funded. The projects are selected based on committee recommendations and a scoring system with a focus on safety, connectivity, and preservation.
That's WHIO's Jason Michaels. The projects awarded emphasize both short-term projects that can be quickly delivered and infrastructure projects of statewide significance.
Now on the roads, Ford recalling nearly 500,000 older Explorer SUVs.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says over 492,000 Ford Explorers from the 2016 and 17 model years are being recalled over improper adhesion that can cause door trim to fall off while driving.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. Ford has determined lack of proper adhesion was causing the trim to loosen. The company says it is not aware of any accidents or injuries caused by it.
Happening today in D.C., Germany's newly elected leader meets with President Trump.
Today will mark the first meeting between President Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Merz took office last month after his center-right party won elections this year. As has been the case with other European leaders, the president and chancellor are expected to focus on reaching a ceasefire in Ukraine and a U.S.-EU trade deal.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern reporting from the White House.
And video game fans have been looking forward to the release of the next generation of the Nintendo Switch, and it's finally here.
There have been some waiting outside the Nintendo New York store since April. And before the actual release even happened, there were dozens of people waiting online for the Nintendo Switch 2.
That's Fox's Eamon Dignam reporting. WHIO News Time 6:05.
I'm Larry Hansgen. Thanks again for joining us on Miami Valley's Morning News. In theaters Friday, Ballerina, a film in the John Wick universe starring Ana de Armas as ballerina/assassin Eve Macaro. She talks about working with Keanu Reeves.
He's relentless. He just wants to do it again and again and again. He's a perfectionist, and he wants to really give the other actors and the director what they need, what they feel like they want to get. It was just really special for me to have him supporting my movie and my character, and wanting to be a part of Ballerina was huge.
And still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, a high-profile death has been confirmed to be a suicide. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time is 6:06.
This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m.
With the economy shifting fast, there's never been a smarter time to protect your finances. At Xenia Coin Shop, we buy gold and silver bullion, fine jewelry, and both small and large coin collections with expert appraisals, fair offers, and top dollar payouts. Proudly serving Xenia and surrounding communities, we help turn today's uncertainty into opportunity. Visit us at 30 West 2nd Street in downtown Xenia or call 937-376-2807 today. Xenia Coin Shop, where integrity meets opportunity.
Hi,
Hi, Pete Kasugi here to tell you that if you're looking for the very best selection of your favorite garden plants, we grow over 125 varieties of tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, broccoli, cucumber, okra, cantaloupe, and eggplants. And if you haven't tried our famous Neighbor Beater tomato plants, come out and pick up a few and enjoy the best taste you ever had from your garden. They taste so good you'll wish you planted more. And remember, Neighbor Beater garden plants are sold only at our garden center at 1309 Brand Pike. So get out that shovel and start digging. It's time for gardens, bedding plants, rose bushes, vines, and ground covers, shade trees and shrubs, bird baths and fountains, and so much more. So join the Green Revolution and come out and see us at 1309 Brand Pike.
Breaking news all morning. The Storm Center 7 forecast to start your day and triple team traffic. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. You've got a chance to win $1,000 as soon as 8 o'clock this morning in the WHIO Payroll Payout Contest. Listen at 8 for the keyword and then enter it on our app or at WHIO.com. 71 degrees now at 6:08.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Our next area of low pressure is moving in.
And it brings us several chances for storms scattered throughout the afternoon and evening, doing the same thing again tomorrow afternoon and evening. Wind going to be our biggest threat, over 60 miles per hour. Heavy rain under some of these stronger thunderstorms and frequent lightning.
That's Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
Yeah, breaking from overnight, at least 5 people, including a 1-year-old child, were killed in a Russian drone strike on a northern Ukrainian city.
And that's according to a regional governor who said 6 more people were wounded in the attack and have been hospitalized.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
The FAA is aiming to modernize air traffic control systems throughout the country, and bidding is open for the companies to take on the project.
The FAA says it wants innovative ideas, new technologies, and new procurement strategies. Duffy says he's engaging with CEOs of these companies directly to speed up the process.
That's Fox Business' Grady Trimble reporting.
And NATO defense ministers met today ahead of the Hague NATO summit to decide how much money countries will spend on defense. And NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte expects countries will increase their spending.
Doing this will also equalize what we are spending with what the United States is spending. We, Canada and Europe, equalizing with the US. And we know this is important because we want a fairer NATO where all our allies spend the same.
Now, President Trump has called for allies to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP.
The FBI's deputy director says Jeffrey Epstein did indeed die by suicide.
Dan Bongino updating Fox's Hannity on the investigation into the Epstein file as conspiracies continue to float that Epstein was murdered in prison. Bongino nixing that.
The evidence we have in our files clearly indicates that it was, in fact, a suicide.
FBI leaders have promised to release a surveillance video from the federal jail in New York where Epstein was found dead.
That's Fox's Chris DeMeo.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
The long-running young thug gang trial ending without any murder convictions. Fox's Gary Baumgarten reports.
The Atlanta rapper and 27 others were indicted on gang and racketeering charges. DA Fonnie Willis claiming that his violent street gang was responsible for multiple killings. But Willis has now dropped the only remaining murder charge as one of the defendants cops to a lower charge.
Young thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, is on probation after pleading guilty to drug, gang, and gun charges in October. WHIO News Time is 6:11.
And this is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen. Our 5-day forecast sponsored by AAA. Come into your local AAA tire and auto service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Offer valid through June 30th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. And here's Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
69 degrees this morning, hitting a high of 80 this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms throughout the morning and again into the afternoon. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, and gusty winds are some of our biggest threats. We'll do the same thing going into Friday with a high of 80 degrees. Keep radar in hand and be weather aware. 78 on Saturday. Rain will be early. Then that rain tapers back, clearing out the skies. Sunday will be the best day out of the weekend with a high of 80 degrees and partly cloudy. Monday, partly cloudy with a chance of a few showers and a high of 77.
Live Doppler 7 radar shows rain moving through the western portion of Mercer County and approaching all other counties along the Indiana border. Pretty wide swath of rain coming over from the Hoosier State. We've got 68 in Springfield, 69 in Xenia, 71 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
Here's an update with Jake McNaughton.
Right now, traffic is moving well on all interstates. We do have some rain coming our way, but right now, as you are heading to work, you won't have to be using the windshield wipers. Roads are still dry. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
That Reds lost to the Brewers 9-1. The Dragons were a strike away from victory, but gave up 5 runs in the top of the ninth to lose to Lansing 6-3, their 8th loss in a row. That series with the Lugnuts continues tonight at Day Air Ballpark. And yesterday, we had a conversation with Ohio's U.S. Senator John Husted. You'll hear it coming up in just 2 minutes. WHIO News Time 6:13.
This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you, thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m. The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
Hey, what's up, Miami Valley? Here's what's happening. The Troy Strawberry Festival is happening this weekend up in the city of Troy. Arts and craft vendors, lots of food, entertainment, several contests, and live music. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday, 10 to 6. St. Helens Festival, that's happening this weekend over at the St. Helen Parish. It is in Riverside. Rides, food, flea market, bingo, beer garden, and fun. Friday, 6:30 to 11, Saturday, 1 to 11, and Sunday, 1 to 9. The Kettering Summer Flea Market, that's going on over at the Kettering Rec this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. Handcrafted items, crafts, antique, food trucks, and live entertainment. The fun begins at 8:30. It's going to run through 11:30. And movies topping the box office this weekend include Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and The Karate Kid Legends. With your WHIO Weekend Preview, I'm Chris Hartley.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
For this week in history, I'm Ron Otto. June 1st, 1968, Simon & Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson hits #1. June 1st, 1937, Morgan Freeman is born.
Your job as an actor is to give it your best shot.
June 4th, 1973, Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastain received the patent for the automatic teller machine, or ATM. June 5th, 1968, Senator Robert Kennedy is shot at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. June 6th, 1944.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may be approaching a fateful hour. All night long, bulletins have been pouring in from Berlin claiming that D-Day is here, claiming that the invasion of Western Europe has begun.
And June 7th, 1952, actor Liam Neeson is born.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
The area's only all-news and talk radio station. That means we're talking about what you're talking about. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
6:16, I'm Larry Hansgen. Right now we got 71 degrees in Dayton. Big 3 things you need to know. Warm and muggy today with high near 80 and thunderstorms possible off and on. We got some rain here approaching us soon. And Ford recalling 500,000 older SUVs. And our top story, President Trump bans travelers to the U.S. from 12 countries. We'll have more coming up at 6:30. But yesterday we had a chance to visit with Ohio's U.S. Senator John Husted as he's made the transition from being lieutenant governor to being appointed to the J.D. Vance senatorial seat in January. And we asked Senator Husted how that transition's going.
Thanks, Larry. Great to be with you this morning. It's gone very well. As you know, I'm an Ohio guy. I didn't plan to come to Washington, but I'm serve where I'm called, and it's an honor to represent Ohio. And finally, the federal government has me in an office. They've turned all my phones on, and so we're ready to fully serve the people of the state and advance a lot of our legislative agenda, including today. We're going to introduce a bill that will restore pensions for salaried workers from Delphi who lost them many years ago, and so we're ready to go, ready to serve the people.
Yeah, both you and Senator Marino are freshmen, which one would think that maybe Ohio is going to be at some type of disadvantage. But how have you been embraced by your colleagues there in your first months on Capitol Hill?
Well, Larry, I'm new to the Senate, but I'm not new to public service. With the years of experience that I have working in Ohio, I think it's gone very smoothly, all in all. And Bernie and I are building great relationships with our colleagues. We certainly have a great working relationship with each other that serves Ohio. And then we have a good Ohio friend down the street in J.D. Vance, who's the Vice President of the United States. So we're working very collaboratively together to advance things for Ohio, but also for the nation who, we've got a lot of work to do to make sure that America is competitive and looking out for everyone's economic and national security.
A lot on your individual and collective plates, and obviously what is top of mind for a lot of folks this week certainly is the recently passed budget bill from the House, now under review there in the Senate. In general, what are your thoughts on this bill?
Well, we need to get it done. The priority should be renewing the tax cuts from 2017 because they are pro-family and pro-growth. If we fail to do this is important. If a family of four who makes $80,000 a year, if we don't get this done, their tax bill will go up by $1,700. And we don't want to see that happen. We've got to get it done. We got to fund border security and deportation of criminals who are here. That's in the bill. We've got to restore the work ethic by requiring able-bodied, healthy people who are receiving free health care benefits to work in return for those benefits. We've got to continue to push these pro-growth policies and also have an energy agenda, helping to make sure that we have affordable energy and that we get the regulations out of the way that tend to drive up costs and drive up inflation. So all of those things are in the bill, and yes, there are things that we've got to work on. I would like to see more deficit reduction in there, but we've got to get this done.
Something that certainly would be on a back burner, but as a former college football player yourself at the University of Dayton, the current state of college athletics has become under scrutiny, and even the president is perhaps getting involved and taking a look at how it needs to moving forward. Does the federal government should have a role in the future of college athletics?
Well, we've been asked to play a role. A lot of the colleges and universities have come to see me and many of my colleagues because they want to have a set standard nationwide, and they need a legal framework to have that done so that they can pay athletes directly. They want a standardized system to do that so that they're not in violation of antitrust rules or along the way. They also want to lower the temperature of the arms race, particularly in football and basketball to some extent, so that they'll have money left over for the other non-revenue sports that are important also to the college landscape. And all of those things are important, and they've asked us to build a legal framework for them to collectively do that in the country. And so that is it is on the agenda. I know that Senator Ted Cruz is kind of taking the lead on that, but we're very involved as Ohio senators in that discussion.
And again, that was Senator John Husted conversation we had yesterday here on Miami Valley's Morning News, where we now take a look at our 5-day forecast with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
80 degrees this afternoon, partly cloudy otherwise, with the chance of a few scattered thunderstorms. A few may be strong. Wind would be our biggest threat, over 60 miles per hour. Heavy rain, frequent lightning will do the same thing going into Friday. Same temperature as well, 80 degrees. 78 on Saturday, that rains early. Otherwise, we'll start the clearing process. We'll call it partly cloudy, and 80 on Sunday. 77, the chance of a shower Monday. Otherwise, partly cloudy.
A live Doppler 7 radar shows rain nearing the border of Indiana and Ohio here and already crossing into Mercer County. Mercer County seeing some pretty good showers and even some thunderstorms right now. 68 in Springfield, 71 in Kettering, and 71 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
And here's an update with our traffic guy, Jake Magnato.
Oh, I just heard that there was a crash on 75 South near Wagner Ford Road. This is in Harrison Township coming into Dayton. I've heard a lane is blocked. Doesn't look like this is in the contraflow lane, and right now the delay is minor since this just happened, so it looks like you'll be able to get around this without too much extra time at the moment. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnato, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Possible new treatment for nonverbal autism is our in-depth impact story coming up in 3 minutes at 6:22.
This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m.
Hi everyone, Pete Kasuja here again to tell you our Grow Better bedding plants are ready to plant now, and we have 20,000 flats to choose from. It's also time to plant your vegetable plants, and now we not only have our world-famous Neighbor Beater tomato plants, but we have over 95 varieties of vegetable plants like peppers, cabbage, cantaloupe, cauliflowers, eggplants, and more. Wow, grab a napkin, you're drooling. Folks, our customers have sent our plants all over the country. Try these plants in your garden. You're going to love them. And don't forget, we have thousands of shade trees and shrubs ready to load. We have hundreds of rose bushes starting at $12.95 and bonsai trees for $17.95. So come out soon to 1309 Brant Pike, where we're open 7 days.
Belmont Coin and Jewelry is looking to buy large estates and inheritances, any gold and silver coin collections, and gold and diamond jewelry and watches. Please see Belmont Coin and Jewelry today at 2749 Wilmington Pike in Kettering.
I'm Dr. Merkel. Recently, a 60-year-old patient reported his cataracts are gone, floaters are gone, and he can drive better at night. His tremor is gone and can sign his name better. Hip and knee joint pains are also gone, and he can now go up steps 2 at a time. Overall fatigue and stiffness are much better, lost a few pounds, and his ED and testosterone greatly improved. He hasn't felt this healthy or this good in years. No surgeries, no drugs, no shots were used or even needed. Just getting healthier. He didn't need multiple doctors, just one who is an expert in health. Whatever your health problems, maybe there are safe natural options. You'll know in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And if you get healthy enough, does it really matter the name of the disease? At Take Two Healthcare, we won't guess. With proper testing, we will know what to do. Go to Take Two Healthcare and listen every Saturday, 11 to noon, to Take Two Healthcare right here on WHIO.
As you may know, David's Cemetery is a beautiful cemetery in the heart of Kettering that offers many burial options. What you may not know is that we also have a beautiful chapel and an after-service facility called the Gathering Room. Our convenient location eliminates traveling from place to place because we can host everything from the visitation and memorial service to the committal and family gathering. Please call or stop by our office for a private tour. David's Cemetery, Generations of Care.
Dayton's only all-local news radio station. The power of WHIO Radio and News Center 7 means you'll know first. This is Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. It's June 5th. And 1965, the Rolling Stones released their single, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. 71 degrees now, 626.
26 minutes after 6 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Radloff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Well, there's a possible new treatment for autism that helps with language skills.
Yeah, Fox's Jonathan Siri brings us more information on this story.
As with many autism patients, Oren has trouble absorbing folic acid, which is essential for brain development. Child neurologist Dr. Richard Fry has been testing the generic drug leucovorin as a way of helping the nutrient get through to the brain, and says many patients see significant improvements in their language skills. It's been on the market so long, it's inexpensive, giving pharmaceutical companies less incentive to invest in the large clinical trials needed for leucovorin to improve communication in children with autism. Dr. Fry has published his findings in peer-reviewed studies and a book, but he hopes for additional outside research to confirm and expand on what may be a promising treatment for many children with autism.
Now, the medication still needs more funding and trials before it receives regulatory approval. Currently, it's used to prevent the harmful effects of chemotherapy. Dr. Fry started testing it with this method after he found out that leucovorin is able to bypass certain antibodies to bring more folic acid to the brain. WHIO News Time, 627.
And this is Miami Valley's Morning News. Money-saving advice online anytime at Clark.com. And this morning's Clark Howard tip of the day.
There's a new gotcha at the gas pump you need to be aware of. There are more and more gasoline sellers selling E15. That's ethanol 15%. Up to this point, the ethanol that was sold at gas stations was E10, 10% ethanol. And some stations are going to show you a lower price if you buy the E15 instead of the E10. And your vehicle may be okay with 15% ethanol, or it may not be. This is a risk not worth taking. So when you're going to fill up, know that the cheapest price at the pump may not be your best idea. Don't go past E10, 10% ethanol. This is Clark Howard.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
Think how many of us have security cameras at our home. If you've ever had packages stolen from your front stoop, you may have cameras watching that. Or you may just have security perimeter cameras because they're so cheap now and they trigger and you can see what's happening real time on your phone. Well, guess who else has decided security cameras are useful? Crooks. If crooks are targeting your neighborhood or your house for burglary, they're surreptitiously putting cameras at your property. Look around. If you see an odd camera you know you have no connection to, you need to take that thing down and deactivate it right away. And be aware that means a burglar is casing your home.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Wounded Warrior Project fights for wounded veterans like Josh. Your support will provide free programs and services that make life-changing differences.
It was really hard when I first got home, just to get motivated and get up to do anything that day. But the Wounded Warrior Project and you guys donating lets me know that somebody is still there for me. They still care about me. They haven't forgot.
Please give to those who gave so much for us.
Want the same expert advice you get from the pros in the store while shopping online at DiscountTire.com? Meet Treadwell, your personal online tire guide that matches you with the perfect tire for your vehicle. Get your best match in 1 minute or less with Treadwell by Discount Tire. Let's get you taken care of.
WHIO, Dayton, Springfield. Celebrating our 90th year as the Miami Valley's leading news station. Weather, traffic, and breaking news starts now.
Good morning at 6:30. I'm Larry Hansgen. Welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Thursday, June 5th. 71 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Warm and muggy today. A high near 80 and thunderstorms possible off and on. Now we got a traffic red alert. Southbound 75 at Wagner Ford Road. The right 2 lanes are blocked. More from Jake McNaughton in just a minute. But first, our top story. President Trump has announced new travel bans on countries he claims don't do enough to screen or vet travelers.
The countries involved: Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen.
That's Fox News' David Spunt. Many of those countries were under a travel ban during President Trump's first term.
Yeah, Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley tells Fox News Channel's Hannity he supports the move.
After what happened in Colorado, you can't say that we don't have a serious issue with terrorists coming over here.
Now, you remember an Egyptian man is charged with attacking pro-Israeli protesters in Colorado. Egypt is not one of the 12 countries banned. The president did suggest new countries could be added.
Yeah, and as always, stay tuned right here as we continue to bring you the information you need to hear on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Heavy rain expected across much of the Miami Valley. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. I'll let you know when it comes to an end and how much we get when it is all said and done.
A crash on 75 South near Wagner Ford Road is starting to back up traffic as you are heading into downtown Dayton. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
Well, we've been working to get an update on a 5-year-old that was seriously hurt in a crash Tuesday night in Dayton.
At last check, that child was in critical condition. 2 other people inside the same van were hurt but will be okay. Dayton police told us a suspected drunk driver ran his pickup through a red light and hit that van and a car.
That's News Center 7's Gabrielle Enright.
A 3-vehicle head-on crash in Logan County has sent 2 drivers to a hospital just before 9 yesterday morning.
It happened on State Route 117 in Huntsville. Word is a car driven by 33-year-old Ifantis Osoro struck another vehicle from behind. Osoro's vehicle then went left of center and crashed head-on into another car driven by 37-year-old Ashley Thomas. The driver of the other vehicle was not injured.
That is WHIO's Jason Michaels. Both Osoro and Thomas were ultimately taken to Columbus hospitals for treatment.
Well, if you live in Troy, you know it's that time of year again. Several streets and roads will be shut down for this weekend's Strawberry Festival starting today. The public square is going to be shut down starting at 5 p.m. The adjoining blocks will be closed to Water, Mulberry, Franklin, and Plum Streets. North Market Street will close at 1 on Friday from Water Street to Staunton Road. All roads will be back open by Monday morning.
And 2 current Cincinnati Bengals are locked into next week's celebrity softball game in Dayton. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins will play in the Logan Wilson softball game at Day Air Ballpark next Wednesday. A home run at Derby will start at 6 p.m., followed by the game at 7. We got a full list of players and a link to buy tickets at WHIO.com.
Well, President Trump says he spoke with Russian President Putin and that the Russian leader told him very strongly he will respond to Ukraine's weekend drone attack on Russian airfields.
The conversation played out yesterday, and President Trump said in a social media post that his lengthy call with President Putin was a good conversation, but not a conversation that will lead to immediate peace. A Russian official characterized the call as positive and quite productive.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor. Ukraine's president says talks haven't brought a reliable peace and urged more pressure on Russia.
And a growing number of U.S. residents are speaking a language other than English at home.
Almost 22% of U.S. residents age 5 and older speak a language other than English at home. That's double the share from 4 decades ago, according to figures released Tuesday by the U.S. Census Bureau. Languages spoken at home vary by state.
That is Fox's Deborah Valentine reporting. WHIO News Time 6:35.
This is a WHIO Red Alert traffic update.
Hey, problem on 75. Here's Jake McNaughton.
Well, we just recently had a crash on 75 South, just past Wagner Ford Road, heading into downtown Dayton. I've heard that medics are being requested to this crash, and I can see this on the camera. It's blocking the center lane, so we have the left contraflow lane open as well as the right lane open. Traffic not yet backed up to Needmore Road, so I think the best way to get around this is actually use that contraflow lane. I usually don't like recommending that, but you'll be able to save a lot of time. I'm Jake Magnotta.
Now, comedian Bert Kreischer was on the Jennifer Hudson show yesterday and talked about why he performs shirtless.
I've been doing stand-up for a while, and I was not making any money. I was missing my family. I'd be on the road in Dayton, Ohio. There'd be 75 people in the crowd, and it would be a Thursday, and I'd be bummed. And I was like, I can't take this energy on stage. So I get a bucket of beers, and I take them up, I kill one, rip my shirt off, and it would make me giggle.
How about it? Dayton mentioned there. Well, still to come, a new bar is opening this month near Day Air Ballpark. We've got that in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 6:36.
This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you, thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
I have family members who have skin cancer, and so many of us do because of the danger of the sun. You know, we're out more and more celebrating, enjoying summertime. So Consumer Reports every year this time does ratings of the best sunscreens out there. Not necessarily the best for your wallet, but this year the best sunscreens also turned out to be best for your wallet. If you like a lotion, kids or adults, the Coppertone Water Babies Lotion SPF 50, perfect 100 score, costs about $8.50. And if you like the sprays, well, Trader Joe's spray SPF 50, best out there for protecting you from the sun. $6. $6 typically, perfect 100 score.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Choosing paint colors can be tricky, but Pro Color Tools by Sherwin-Williams helps paint pros like you help your homeowner select colors confidently and match colors instantly and accurately. Sherwin-Williams, we're your partner in everything color. Visit sherwin.com/Pro Color Tools to learn more.
Making a big purchase should come with confidence, not confusion. CarGurus helps you cut through the noise, because when it comes to your big deal, you deserve the best deal. It's no wonder similar web-estimated traffic data shows CarGurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with CarGurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. By honoring your sacred vocation of nursing, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. GCU's RN to BSN online degree program allows you the freedom to balance online coursework with practicum hours while helping you achieve your goals and serve others. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Good morning, Dayton. You're waking up with the information you need to start the day. Miami Valley's Morning News continues on WHIO.
Morning, I'm Larry Hanskin, and you've got a chance at $1,000 coming up this morning in the WHIO Payroll Payout Contest. Make sure you listen at 8 for the keyword and then enter it on our app or at WHIO.com. 71 degrees now at 6:39.
21 minutes before 7 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'm Brittany Otto. A new bar featuring old school entertainment plans to open in Dayton later this month.
Pins Mechanical Company says it'll open a location at the former site of Muller Brew Barn near Day Air Ballpark on June 18th. The company says it's an adult arcade that'll feature duck pin bowling lanes, retro pinball machines, patio pong, giant Jenga, and a 2-story slide. There will be bars indoor and outdoor and fire pit. It's the 6th Pins location in Ohio.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones.
In Greene County, a historically black college has reactivated an NAACP chapter.
It's been inactive for 3 years. This is the third time Central State University has reinstated the chapter. Students told us it felt like something had been missing on campus. The chapter is preparing for fundraisers, events, and more members in the fall.
That is News Center 7's Gabrielle Enright.
State troopers asking you to do your part in promoting roadway safety during these days known as the 100 deadliest days of summer.
The period between Memorial Day and Labor Day is known for an increase in traffic on the roads and an increase in both serious injury and fatal crashes. Several factors are blamed for this, including increased driving time, distractions, and driver inexperience.
WHIO's Jason Michaels, 364 fatal crashes reported last year, resulting in 393 deaths, more than a third of the deadly crashes recorded in 2024.
Happening in the Middle East, Israel recovering the bodies of 2 Israeli American hostages taken in Hamas's attack that ignited the war in the Gaza Strip.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the remains were recovered and returned to Israel in a special operation by the Army and the Shin Bet Internal Security Agency. Hamas-led militants are still holding 56 hostages. Around a third of them are believed to be alive.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
The release of the Nintendo Switch 2 is finally here.
The next generation of the portable and home console that made a splash by being the first to really do both and do it well, this upgraded version will start with a library of 21 games and be backwards compatible with much of the Switch 1 games, while offering new controls, a bigger screen, and new accessories. Good luck in finding it, though. Some stores are refunding pre-orders due to a lack of stock.
That's Fox's Eamon Dignam. WHIO News Time 641.
This is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen. Our 5-day extended forecast, a Dayton Radio exclusive, and it's sponsored by AAA. Come into your local AAA tire and auto service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Offer valid through June 30th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. Here's Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
69 degrees this morning, hitting a high of 80 this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms throughout the morning and again into the afternoon. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, and gusty winds are some of our biggest threats. We'll do the same thing going into Friday with a high of 80 degrees. Keep radar in hand and be weather aware. 78 on Saturday. Rain will be early, then that rain tapers back, clearing out the skies. Sunday will be the best day out of the weekend with a high of 80 degrees and partly cloudy. Monday, partly cloudy with a chance of a few showers and a high of 77.
Live Doppler 7 radar shows rain from Indiana now moving into the western portions of Butler, Preble, Greene, and almost all of Mercer County now, and as far east, I should say, as parts of Auglaize County. 68 in Springfield, 67 in Rivers in Bellbrook, and 71 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This is a WHIO Red Alert traffic update.
Problem on 75. Here's Jake Magnotta.
Well, if you're going to reroute for this crash on 75 South, you'll need to exit right now at Benchwood Road. This crash is at Wagner Ford Road, blocking the center lane. Once you're off 75 South, you'll have to take the main roads into Dayton. You'll have to come past Wagner Ford and Stanley Avenue. You can't get onto the interstate from here. These ramps are closed. You'll have to come somewhere into the city to pick up the interstate. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
On Wall Street, the Dow closed down 91 points at 42,427, and the results of a May election should be finalized today. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time 6:43.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m.
I'm Parker Testa with the University of Dayton Sports Update. Dayton men's basketball will head to Florida the week of Thanksgiving to compete in the ESPN Events Invitational. Dayton last competed in this event in 2021 when they beat 4th-ranked Kansas in the semifinals in memorable fashion.
Picked up by Amsil. Mustafa fades away. It's good! Dayton won!
Dayton played Belmont in the championship 2 days later and took home hardware.
He throws it the length of the court, and the game is over. The Dayton Flyers have won, and the Dayton Flyers have won the ESPN Events Invitational.
This fall, the Flyers will be joined by BYU, Georgetown, and the Miami Hurricanes in Kissimmee, Florida, November 27th and 28th. The Flyers have an 8-1 overall record in the event. I'm Parker Testa with your University of Dayton Sports Update. You're on the home of the Flyers, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Lowe's knows you want the best for Dad. This Father's Day, help him take on any project with big deals on DeWalt. Right now, get a free XR8 amp-hour battery when you buy select DeWalt tools. That's not all. Get up to 2 free select tools when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max battery kit. Maximum initial battery voltage measured without a workload is 20 volts. Nominal voltage is 18.
Creating your own business is everything. Getting it registered and compliant, not so much. LegalZoom has everything you need to launch, run, and protect your business all in one place. LegalZoom has already helped launch, run, and protect millions of businesses. LegalZoom, now you're in business. Get everything you need from setup to success at LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom provides access to independent attorneys and self-service tools. LegalZoom is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice, except where authorized through its subsidiary law firm, LZ Legal Services, LLC.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
646, I'm Larry Hansgen. We got 71 degrees in Dayton. Big three things you need to know. Warm and muggy today. A high near 80 with thunderstorms possible off and on. Seeing some already rolling in from Indiana into the western portions of Preble Dark, and also virtually all of Mercer County. 71 degrees right now. And we've got a traffic red alert southbound 75 at Wagner Ford Road. The center lane is blocked. And our top story of President Trump, a travel ban involving 12 countries will kick in on Monday.
The president signed a sweeping order restricting travel for countries he says are a high risk for terrorism, visa abuse, and failure to share security information.
So nationals from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, Libya, and Yemen, are banned from coming to the U.S. Individuals from 7 more countries, including Venezuela and Cuba, will all face partial restrictions.
Yeah, the president has suggested that new countries could be added.
A federal judge blocks Texas from enforcing a state law allowing illegal immigrants living there to pay in-state tuition rates for public universities.
Yeah, this after the Trump administration challenged the statute, and the law has been in effect for 20 years.
But the Justice Department went to court to argue that it conflicts with federal immigration law, a contention supported by Republican State Attorney General Ken Paxton in a motion he filed in the case. The court ruling that affording reduced in-state tuition rates to aliens not lawfully in the United States is unconstitutional.
That is Fox's Gary Baumgarten.
A man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend will stand trial after a judge rules him competent to face charges.
Miamisburg police say Demetrius Turner shot and killed Leslie Ross inside a home on Golden Arrow Court in March.
That's News Center 7's Letitia Perry reporting.
And nearly a month after primary election day, we should find out today if a local school levy passes or fails.
The Montgomery County Board of Elections will hold a recount for Issue 10, a $6.9 million operating levy for Huber Heights City Schools. The levy failed by just 3 votes last month.
That's WHIO's Ron Otto reporting.
Butler Township will be the home for a popular drive-through coffee shop.
Dutch Brothers says it will open a coffee shop on North Dixie Drive as its first Ohio location. The Oregon-based chain, known for its customizable drinks, including coffee, iced drinks, and blended beverages, is expected to open this fall.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones.
In our nation's capital, Republicans continue debating the big, beautiful bill as a July 4th deadline approaches.
Supporters are on the defensive as estimates from the Congressional Budget Office predict the package will add $2.4 trillion to the deficit over 10 years. But House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says the CBO is failing to take into account economic growth, believing the tax cuts will kickstart the economy.
That is Fox's Ryan Schmelz reporting for us from Capitol Hill. WHIO News Time, 649.
And this is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen. As we look ahead, our 5-day extended forecast with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
80 degrees this afternoon, partly cloudy otherwise, with the chance of a few scattered thunderstorms. A few may be strong. Wind would be our biggest threat, over 60 miles per hour. Heavy rain, frequent lightning. We'll do the same thing going into Friday. Same temperature as well, 80 degrees. 78 on Saturday. That rains early. Otherwise, we'll start the clearing process. We'll call it partly cloudy, and 80 on Sunday. 77, the chance of a shower Monday. Otherwise, partly cloudy.
Well, our live Doppler 7 radar is showing rain right now, some pretty heavy downpours. Western portion of Butler and Preble County, and also northwestern Darke County, virtually all of Mercer County, as well as western Auglaize County. 68 in Springfield, 71 in Englewood, and 71 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This is a WHIO Red Alert traffic update.
And a problem southbound 75. Details from Jake Magnotta.
Very slow heading into Dayton still on 75 South. A crash from about 30 minutes ago blocking the center lane still just past Wagner Ford Road. So the right lane is open. The contraflow lane is open as well. The delay stretches past Needmore Road. So if you're rerouting exit right now at Benchwood, you'll have to find a way south into Dayton. If you need back onto the interstate, you can't get onto 75 South at Wagner Ford or Stanley. These ramps are closed because of construction. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Now, still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, brushes with greatness. We'll share some of our experiences coming up in 3 minutes. WHIO News time to 6:51.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
Traffic. This is a WHIO payroll payout alert.
Thank you.
$1,000 coming up at 8 a.m.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. June 1st, 1968, Simon & Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson hits number 1. June 1st, 1937, Morgan Freeman is born.
Your job as an actor is to give it your best shot.
June 4th, 1973, Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastain received the patent for the automatic teller machine, or ATM. June 5th, 1968, Senator Robert Kennedy is shot at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. June 6th, 1944.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may be approaching a fateful hour. All night long, bulletins have been pouring in from Berlin claiming that D-Day is here, claiming that the invasion of Western Europe has begun.
And June 7th, 1952, actor Liam Neeson is born.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. I'm Ron Otto with my Sports Rundown, my take on the big stories in sports. We're